Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D with WhatTeamComp. I am your host, the Uncommon Guru, back with my friends, Zark, Paris, Kendall, and Moss. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm upset. I can't see you live.
Yeah, it doesn't show you live.
I just clicked live.
Oh.
It'll
So
be up in,
it takes a bit, because there's like lag, delay, bullshit.
There it is.
It's very rude. There it is.
Yes, it's less rude when it actually shows up.
I
would
have no
lost
patience.
my mind if you had gone like Zark, Paris, and the other one.
I'm gonna be honest. I was going to name it, and then I was going to name myself, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm not a player.
I am not a player. I'm just the humble dungeon master of this game.
Our
Humble,
illustrious DM.
The illustrious tomfoolery.
That works. Yeah, comp.
High quality
your
dumbassery.
Yes.
But yeah, your Twitch don't like me. It will not recognize me.
Why does it not recognize your authority? I gave you authority.
It don't like me. It's like math. Nah.
Rude. Yeah. I'm gonna add show mod icons. Just so I can see it. Oh, that's cool. That means I can actually time out things and stuff like that. Yep.
That's working for me.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It just shows Prime Gaming.
Slash mod purple 2_ moss.
Yeah.
Yep.
2_.
1_ was taken.
Give the correct power.
See, here's the thing. I've always done the 2_. I've never even looked for the 1_.
But well,
Especially after it became an item in Dark Souls.
that being said, you all ready to pick up where we last left off? Sorry again that it took us a few weeks to get back into the game. I was working and some people had to take care of some stuff, but we're back.
Yeah. Did you get rid of the shovel?
Look, we don't talk about the shovel. The shovel doesn't exist anymore.
We had that lumber grinder thing. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, I've collected my kneecaps.
Good. We're going to the farm later. Anyways.
Anyways.
When we last left off, you all had finished dealing with Ripe, the satyr who had kidnapped several young women and taken them to the Feywild. After the interactions therein, you were then brought back, almost directly back to Peking Hill, whereupon you were able to meet with some of the people who you had, previously left, and took in what all had gone on within that fight, leaving you to disperse and kind of just take a moment a little bit for yourselves, with some of you going to the inn to just rest, one of you going to the park to just kind of have a moment, and one of you being led to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Paris, who is playing the lovely Serenity, our Azmar barbarian.
Yes.
In the park, no one else is around. As far as you can tell, it almost feels like there's like this absence of idle chatter that cities have. Something that you've grown accustomed to. After all, you've lived in cities many years. And there is that sense of not full quiet, but a tranquility, as even the little voice that usually is bugging you has been put on hold as you sit on a bench and you feel as much as you see the presence slip in next to you. That, again, that multi-feathered winged figure. Humanoid torso body, but the head definitely seeming to have almost that kind of biblical angel look to it.
He's trying really hard to stay calm.
And it had said, as I mentioned last time, in Celestial, effectively, be not afraid. And it waits and it watches you.
Who are you?
I am, and I always have been, your watcher.
Squints.
You get the sense they were looking for the right word.
I'm not entirely sure I understand.
I am a guide for you. I do not come or approach often, as often you are very impulsive and do not need someone to hold your hand. But at a time like this, it felt prudent for me to speak with you.
Really that far into my own head that I need you, huh?
As I said, need. Perhaps need is a stronger word than is necessary for you. You've barreled your way through many an adversity. I'm a suggestion, an offer.
What do you suggest I do?
What are your thoughts? You have ideas. You have feelings.
I don't think the idea of I need to be better is all that useful.
Better at what?
Being aware.
Do you feel that is a weakness? You've been vigilant, have you not?
Not enough.
So one, I would hardly call it a mistake, but one slip up is enough to have you question.
Is the first slip up that has resulted in someone's death. who I'm supposed to save.
And I have done as you asked, and I have sped them on their way to Aitse to ensure they are safe. This was no fault of theirs, or any fault of yours.
I deserved to be here. I deserve to go out like that.
Who's to say? Even I am not privy to Metalois' Book of Time, or to Vamus walking the fates.
Thank you for helping them. At least they will be somewhere suitable. And they can at least be in peace. He just sighs.
Then you did your best.
I did what I had to.
You did what you could. There's nothing to be ashamed of in that. You can want for more. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. Acknowledge the good you did, though.
Kind of curling up even more. No, I can't save everyone.
But you want to.
She just nods her head.
There's no shame in that desire. There does need to be the understanding that sometimes that doesn't happen. Not every time. It's not a pleasant thought. But they were good people. And at the very least, rest easy, knowing that the way to Aitse was clear for them.
She nods her head.
It is a small consolation. But I feel it will help.
It does. Thank you. I will think upon today.
They nod. Look at what you feel you can do better. Acknowledge what you've done well. Discuss with those you are working with how they can help you. You are not on a hill against a horde fighting alone. You have others standing beside you. Remember that.
Nods her head. And she'll stand up. I need to head back. And due to make them worry.
As you stand and say that, a wind picks up around you. Seems to shake the plains, the trees around you, whips up, and in a burst of feathers, in a flash of light, they disappear.
Stay there for a few moments. Just kind of taking everything in. And she'll start making her way back to the inn.
As you begin doing so, there's a moment that passes. Then you hear a Is it gone?
Yes.
Is it gone?
Yes, it's gone.
Thank fuck, uppity bitch.
The uppity bitch is doing a bit more for me than you are currently.
Yeah, well, I had things to do. I had to scratch my ankles and get out of wedgie
You don't
and
have
stuff like
ankles. Or underwear, for that matter.
that. I could have underwear. You don't know what's going on inside my head.
Your soul trapped in my body.
I am allowed to imagine myself wearing garments, thank you.
How would you imagine underwear that could give you something uncomfortable?
Because it makes me think I'm alive, rather than stuck as a soul or stuck inside your body. Obviously. It's the little things you hate that make you feel alive.
Is my body not good enough for you?
I mean, hold on a second. Grab your tits real quick.
No!
Oh, come on. For me.
No.
Spoil sport. It was a great body, don't get me wrong. Maybe a little bit more in the ass. Just a little bit.
Excuse you.
You could eat a little bit more. Put on a little, just a little bit.
As much as I eat, I don't think I can eat much more to put on much more weight.
You haven't seen some of the innkeepers I've been looking at through your eyes.
As in, I work it off too quickly.
Eat more.
Just her head next to the end. She's just going to keep up a dumb conversation with Evictus.
Effectively, yes. While that's going on, who would like to go next?
I'm cool either way.
All right. So, Elizabeth is taken to the Tricksters Collective, the library bookstore. As you enter in, it is quiet, quaint, not really drawing attention or things of that nature. As you expect, the return of a bunch of, lost children is a bit more of an eye catcher than two people wandering off.
True. Very true. So it's basically just the two of them?
Three, because
Three.
the
The goblin?
Yep, he is still there.
Okay.
And they Droop goes to lock the door, and they kind of make like a motion of like, no, it's fine. And they kind of hesitate, look to the door, look back, and seem to have this look of just, are you sure?
Elizabeth arches a brow going, why do you need to lock the door? We're just having a friendly conversation. We are, right?
Yes.
Okay, then there's no need to lock the door. I'm not gonna do anything.
They nod, and they kind of look between the two of you and just kind of bow a little, and they move over to get like a seated position, not fully towards the front of the store, but where they could easily move in to catch anyone who comes inside. Words are hard. while the bookkeeper takes you into a back room area.
Okay.
Closes the door mostly, but leaves it open just a crack. They move over, and there's like a table, a couple of chairs. Kind of looks like almost like a card table, like for playing a game of cards or something like that. Game rooms kind of feel. A few other books are on the a shelf over to this corner, but it's like a single shelf, probably like specialty books. Not that you can read anything on them.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you note on the table in a bowl is a single item.
Elizabeth moves towards the table to get a better look.
It is a black petaled rose.
She freezes where she stands, and her eyes dart very quickly to the book owner.
He
What's going on here?
steps up, he takes it, kind of looks, he picks it up as though there was nothing about it. Someone paid handsomely to try and get this to you. They had no idea how many hands this had to be passed through before it eventually reached here. Luckily for them. They had no idea. Oh well. So, have a seat. Don't worry, you're not in trouble. This is an invitation, not a condemnation.
As Elizabeth goes to sit down, there is obvious panic on her face seeing the black rose. But as she sits, her demeanor starts to change. She's been through so much stress the past day, and seeing this black rose kind of was the last switch she needed. So when she sits down, the panic is gone, and a cold, hard stare is what the bookkeep sees.
They look you over for a moment. They kind of just seem to evaluate that for a second. They begin to... They switch over to Thieves' Cant. For ease of access, I'm going to just use the translated stuff. Obviously, we're not going to start speaking French or something like that.
Yes, you guys didn't know Elizabeth speaks fluent French.
I actually have a different thing on Tuesday where two of the players were like, "Can we speak French?" And I was like, "Why? Why do you want to speak French?" Then again, one of them also knows sign language, so, you know, that's the thing.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
fun, actually. But, they sit down, and they say, there are people in Cormundum who have been keeping an ear out for things. They don't know it's you. That's completely understandable. You were a ghost in the wind, as it were. Shadow. But when a small group makes just a little bit too much noise, just asks the wrong questions to the wrong people too many times, well, I mean, it gets someone's interest, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, I do.
And there are people who want to speak to you. Nothing bad, as I said. It's an invitation. They're hoping that at some point within the next month, 2 months, give or take, that you will go by either Wavebreak or Dragonsby. At which point they wish to arrange a meeting, offer you a guard, as it were, to allow you some semblance of peace, and have a meeting.
So, is there like a time frame or something that I'm supposed to give to you guys, or what?
As I said, within
I know
within the next month to 2 months, if you arrive in one of those cities, they reach over and pick up the black rose and kind of grab just the rose part of it and pull it off and hand it to you.
She takes it. Her hand
It's
for
not,
a moment
yeah,
shakes.
Yeah. When you feel it, it's not an actual rose. It's whatever it's made out of. You're not fully sure of what it is made out of, but it is made to imitate a black rose.
Ah, so it won't die on me. Okay, good.
Correct. When you arrive in one of those cities, go to one of the post offices and tell them it's a special delivery. Using the right phrases, of course. When he says special delivery, he says it needs to go to this person effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And they will make sure that the meeting is set up. They'll ask where the return address will be. And they'll make sure that you're aware of when the meetup will be and where.
You know, sometimes I forget how much you guys actually are. I've been out of the game for a few years, and all of a sudden, people are starting to know my name, and I'm not too happy about this. Did they give any indication as to why they suddenly knew about me? Because I've been trying to be a shadow. Trying not to be known. I don't even sound like this half the time anymore. Thought I got out.
It's very hard to just get out. The reason why you're being waved in, as it were, is one of your small group poked a few people and they got interested, so they started digging. They're a bit curious because they're seeing a pattern, but they need to make sure. I don't know what exactly I'm allowed to tell you, so I'm not going to tell you more than that. Just enough that you know that it's important. You understand
Yeah,
my
the-
reasoning.
I get it. I get it. Information's important to us. I get it.
So you
I
accept?
swear. I accept. It's not like I could not. You know that you can't when you get one of these things, man.
They would understand if you said no. It just means that they would need to arrange things differently. You know how it is.
If I say no, all of a sudden I'm going to look guiltier than I already am.
At that, they kind of like quirk a brow and grin. You have no real way to determine why. They just look amused.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me you ain't in the loop of things. I don't care how far out in the middle of nowhere you is. You must have heard what happened in Corvin.
I'm in the loop. I just have an extra thread.
You don't say.
We'll see how things pan out. Also, right. One other thing. They look suddenly like out of business mode. No longer speaking thieves' cant. Look vaguely excited. They get out of their chair and they go over to like a little desk area off to the side. And there's a book on it. They pick it up and they bring it over. They set it down in front of you. This is a something from a few of the others in the town. They want to do something for your little group, and I said I would take care of it. And I figured this might be something that would, at the very least, be of assistance to you.
I'm gonna have to, there's others in the group that would know more what to do with it than I would.
Oh no, this is specifically for you. Open it.
Oh, okay. Elizabeth will open the book.
It's a book. It's like not like a children's book, not in the same way of like pictures and words and whatnot. But it is like it has a picture and then it has words under it. He's like, watch, and he leans forward, he presses his hand next to like the starting first sentence. And he slowly drags it along, and after a moment, you hear a soft voice reading out the words.
Was I that transparent the last time I was in here? Something that I needed help reading?
I could see prisms of rainbows. You were that transparent. The light struck you and I saw it sprayed across the walls.
I bought a fucking book though.
Yes. One with many pictures.
It's actually rather good,
So I've been told. Droob knows more about it than me.
Yeah, it was his suggestion, so
That would make sense. He suggested this one as well.
Yeah, he was in earshot when I did say I couldn't read.
That would explain. There we go.
Well, he's on the smaller side. I wasn't paying attention to him at that point.
No one ever does. Winks at you. That's why he gets away with half the stuff he does. Half.
Yeah.
The other half I let him.
I get it. The size thing. With the blackouts and the whole small crew thing, I was one of the smaller ones. So being smaller's better for sneaky.
It's advantageous.
It ain't what I do best, but I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, or should I go get my? I got to go get my sword. I've been without it for way too long.
Understandable. Kind of make a motion to you of like, you may depart as you wish.
She'll get up to leave before turning and looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
You got a name or like a nickname like the rest of the crews do that I can call you by?
Some refer to me as Olos.
Olos.
Others don't refer to me. Better for their own health.
Did I ever give you a name, or did they give you a name for me?
You never gave me a name.
It was just simply description and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
We'll keep it that way. Fair?
All you know me is Elizabeth, okay?
Fair enough. Travel safe, Elizabeth.
You do, Olos. She'll take the book and head out the shop.
Alright.
And head back towards the tavern. While she's walking, she's remembering that she told Maxim that once they got back from the Feywild, she'd let him know. So while she's walking with book in hand, she'll touch the lanyard, and unfortunately, she's still stuck in the accent. So this is going to be interesting. So she'll touch the lanyard and go, so we got some good news and some bad news. Good news, I'm back from the Feywild. Bad news is people know where I am.
There's like a momentary pause, and it's like you hear like almost like the out of breath, like kind of from like, oh, good, yeah, hi, glad to hear you're back. The Feywild didn't hurt you or anything, did it? You were obviously gone for a little bit. Everything okay?
I got to hear the voice of Silvertongue. It was wonderful.
There's a momentary pause, just like you kind of hear this faint consideration of just like, and just, I am going to presume that's a good thing.
Sorry, when I talk like this, the sarcasm's hard to tell. And I do apologize for that.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry. You're back.
I am back. I didn't die. Unfortunately, one of the girls we went to go save did. So, it was in front of me too. I could have done something to save her, and I just went after the damn Seta.
You'll make better of it next time. I'm sure of it.
It was a conscious decision, Maxim.
You'll make better of it next time. I'm sure of it.
There's a pause where she has to visibly, like almost anybody who's on the street would see her visibly have to shift back into Elizabeth almost before she kind of is back to herself, or the self that he knows. And but yeah, I got an invitation from somebody very high up in the old crew. They're looking for me.
You need me to start poking into things?
It's either I gotta meet them at either Wavebreak or Dragonsby in the next month or two. And if I don't, they have other ways of finding me. They're being nice by asking.
Those are a ways off for you still, aren't they? I mean, you're heading. I mean, you're heading north, so I guess Dragonsby, but
we're heading towards Landfall, which is not too far from Wavebreak.
You gonna go through with it?
Like I said, I don't know how much you actually know about what I used to do, but they have ways of getting to me if I don't show up.
Right.
The way they invited me, I know they made it sound like it was just an invitation to help, but I feel my days are numbered, Maxim.
There's a momentary pause, and it's the you hear almost like a faint, like attempt to not giggle, and they're like, count each second in double time.
I know you're trying to be helpful and all, but like I said, I don't think you really know what I used to do.
No, I really don't. That's why I was trying to give you something to. At very least potentially laugh at.
I'd prefer if you just thought that I was just a hired thug. I really do. We're crime families for a reason. Never really leave.
I'll see about poking some stuff, I suppose.
They said that it was worded in a way that kind of reminded me of something that happened back when we were in Amber, that certain people are poking and asking certain questions to certain people that are getting people's attention, and that was midnight, and he doesn't do things by accident. He's not sloppy like this.
I'll be careful.
Please do. I don't want you knowing me being a reason for you to get hurt. And she keeps walking to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be where she gets her sword back? Or is there someplace that she knows she's got to go to get her sword?
You don't know where you're supposed to go to get your sword back. But that is likely a place that you will eventually get someone to come by and know you're there at the very least.
Okay, then yeah, she heads back to the tavern, putting the book into her bag and doing a little bit more to put herself back in the Elizabeth way of mind and way of walking.
Understandable. In the tavern, I believe was it both Aurelius and Artemis, or just one of the two of you?
Artemis went back to the tavern. I think she took Aurelius with her, but I do not remember.
I believe you both were together.
Are you both together?
Y'all are both together.
You're both in the inn?
I'll take y'all's words for that.
Oh, God. You're so quiet. Where's my Zark button? There. Turn the Zark button up. Speak again, Zark.
Sorry.
Marvelous.
Yeah, I fixed up my mic. Yeah, I'm just gonna take everyone else's word for that. Can't
it's been
really
a bit.
remember.
No worries,
Yeah.
man. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Artemis would have probably taken him up to the bar and ordered herself a drink. She has not put her arm back on yet.
Fair.
It kind of hurts to put on sometimes.
Yeah.
She's still soaked.
Aurelius is just kind of just standing there, looking her up and down. And, how many people are in the tavern? Is it, like, quiet at the moment?
It was very quiet. Maybe, like, 2 or 3 people at most.
Okay. Aurelius, takes off his cloak, and he gives it to Artemis. You're still a bit... I'm not gonna lie, you look like a wet rat.
You have such a way with words. But she'll
I
take the
know.
cloak and just kind of clumsily wrap herself in it with her one arm.
Yes, I am the most renowned poet of the age.
I can tell you have such a fan club that follows you.
Fan club? Are you comparing me to that satyr?
No, but I was making a joke.
Ah,
You're a far better poet than he is.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
I know. You should order something to drink. Get...
I'll be okay. I just need some rest and to not think too much.
I'm going to work on my not thinking part. Just gonna order a hot alcoholic beverage, whatever they have. I don't really care.
If you need me, I'll be upstairs.
Take care of yourself.
I'll try. Clank, clank, clank.
That has the impression of, like, sad armor noises.
That's exactly what it is. It also doesn't help that I'm still a bit sick, so...
It matches with the aesthetic of where Aurelius might be right now. So yeah, eventually Elizabeth will return, and as Elizabeth is returning, so is Serenity.
Elizabeth will kind of look up and just kind of give a tilt of the head of acknowledgement to Serenity. She might have turned back to her Elizabeth demeanor, but her eyes have like 1,000-yard stare to him still. And then she'll just head on.
I'm muted! Shit!
She's no longer
said
muted.
She's not gonna say anything to me?
Yeah.
Oh no! Serenity looks at Elizabeth and Serenity's eyes are just red.
Have a hard day or time well gone too?
I have so much to unpack. I'm not entirely sure where to begin. First of all, apparently Evictus can get wedgies. That will sit in my mind for the next 3 weeks.
You're welcome.
You know, I after what happened since we got back, I needed that laugh.
Ugh.
So thank you.
He also apparently thinks that I need to eat more food to get fatter. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
You eat more than I do in a week, in a sitting.
That's what I told him.
Okay.
He says he
You know, this is also the same demon that likes me for some reason. So, you know.
He likes that you're dangerous.
It's hot.
When you say that she's dangerous, she can't help it. She's still in the mindset. A grin crosses her lips, but it is not a happy one. It is actually one that is quite dangerous. And it takes her a second to catch it and have it go away.
Please stop. I don't need to see Evictus or hear Evictus moaning in my ear.
I'm not moaning. Just bring it back. Bring it back.
Sorry.
It's very weird to have one half of your soul have very blatant desire to fuck you.
You have all of your soul, and I have all of my soul. The difference is that I'm looking at this absolute maniac like they're hot, as you should, and the other half of you is going, I don't want to listen to the voice of reason, who is looking at this person who is absolutely manically hot, appreciatively.
You know, you can tell you're having someone's having an inner monologue. They're like looking back and forth every now and again. That's currently what Serenity is in the effect of. Before she just shakes her head.
Luckily, Serenity has told Elizabeth enough that she'll just stand there patiently and wait.
Can Artemis just kind of turn around in her chair at the bar and just watch them? She can't really hear what the conversation that they're having.
Yeah, you
but
just
their
see them like just there. Yeah.
Are very vocal.
Yeah.
She's just downing her hot whatever she made, probably.
You all suddenly hear this loud clank.
You fall off the bed.
You know,
He fell on the bed.
Fell on the bed, fell off the bed, flew out the window.
No, you'd have heard. You'd have heard that outside.
Aurelius suddenly defenestrates. What the fuck happened? There was a roach in my bed.
There was a spider.
I took the only useful action.
It's like with Aurelius, you never know. Honestly.
Being fair, Aurelius having a fear of spiders makes 100% complete sense for various reasons, but I'm not saying more than that.
Huh.
So, I don't know about you, but I could really use a drink and to sleep for like the next 12 hours.
Aurelius comes in from outside somehow.
Elizabeth would kind of go, just point at Aurelius going, I can't believe I was right.
Did you actually go out the window?
I saw a bird.
Oh, your response was to fly after it?
Bless.
It was a really pretty bird.
You know, again, not the weirdest thing that's happened with this group.
Serenity's in shock!
Elizabeth looks like she could care less and just heads inside to get a drink and join Artemis.
You already have the bartender pouring a glass for you as you enter.
I wish I had my...
on everything. She's wearing Aurelius's cloak.
I wish I had my cam on. Because my mouth is not closed since that.
I saw a bird.
Elizabeth will take her drink and sit down next to Artemis.
Fucking Serenity sitting down on the other side of Artemis. Fucking give me a double.
They nod. They'll.
Artemis doesn't say a word. She's just downing. I'm gonna say she's probably on her second one because it's hot and it's alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I found out a double does not mean 2 alcohol, like 2 bottles of alcohol or 2 glasses, whatever. It just means more alcohol.
It's 2 shots.
Yeah, it's 2 shots.
I've never realized that until recently.
Double the
I'm
alcohol.
not even a drinker.
Me either. I just watched mixing videos because I'm like, I'm fascinated by this, so I can describe, the D&D alcohol stuff and be like, I understand what this meant. Do you know what it tastes like? Ah, fuck no, I don't drink.
There's a moment where Elizabeth looks over at Artemis, realizing that I think at this point she would realize that Artemis doesn't have her scarf anymore.
Yeah, she's not wearing it, and she doesn't have the disguise up on her face, and she's just wearing Aurelius' cloak, but it's just kind of awkwardly wrapped around herself because she looks like a drowned rat.
Elizabeth Elizabeth is going to go into, well, Serenity can comfort, obviously, but Elizabeth is going to go rummaging around, not her side pouch, but her actual bag, and pull out a black scarf similar to the one that she constantly wears around her neck, and put it on the bar in front of Artemis.
Artemis is going to look down at it and suddenly come to the realization that she is not covered. And just all the color drains out of her face for a moment, but she kind of just slams the flask, that down, and grabs the scarf and just quickly wraps it around her in a very practiced way with just the one hand.
There's I kind of doctored these a bit to make it easier to wear so they don't slip down over your nose. There's like ear holes on the side.
Thank you. It's fine. I don't need ear holes, but I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just when we're out, so it doesn't slip.
The bartender's a little bit startled by the sudden whack of you slamming the drink down, but they seem to recognize something's going on, and they're like, I am being paid to give you drinks, and that's it.
But yeah, you can keep that one. I never really take this one off, so.
Aurelius is also noticeably startled.
I love Aurelius. God, I've missed Aurelius.
Right?
Artemis is going to stare at Aurelius for a minute. She's going, didn't you go upstairs?
He saw a bird.
He saw a bird.
You heard that clang, right?
Window.
You heard the clang, right, Artemis?
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything when I'm drinking.
Well, Aurelius decided to go out his window after the bird.
It was sitting on the window and it was so pretty. I wanted to give it scratches and then it flew away. And I was stuck outside.
Just lowers her head. She fucking Serenity just puts her head to the fucking counter.
You hear this faint scraping of wood on wood as your drink is pushed in front of you, Serenity.
Fucking sits up and downs that shit immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, Aurelius. I'm sure Serenity extremely understand. And goes back to drinking.
Elizabeth, go ahead.
She just slowly looks at Artemis.
Artemis looks at Serenity and gives her a very specific finger. Like,
Elizabeth,
you know what you did. You know what you do. Don't look at me like that.
Elizabeth will quickly down her drink, even though it's more of a sipping drink, not a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Stand up from her seat, kind of going, "Lover's quarrel, bye-bye," and head upstairs to her room. She's not going to bed right away,
Of course.
but she's going to leave this scene for a moment.
Serenity lifts up the same finger, lifts up the pointer finger, spreads them, and then looks at her before going back to her drink.
Oh yes, I'm sure you do that quite easily.
I don't know if that's an insult to you or me.
Oh no, I quite enjoy it.
Another drink.
Aurelius just standing there, blink, 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 blink.
Good sir, would you like some cheese and crackers? Or would you like a drink as well?
What's the most alcoholic drink you have?
Do you want... We have one, but that's usually reserved for the people that we wish to no longer have to deal with. It generally knocks them off their feet. Is that what you're looking for?
Aurelius narrows his eyes and is seriously considering it.
Artemis downs the rest of her drink and she just lifts a gold piece as a tip after paying for her drink. Thank you. I'm going to bed.
They graciously accept
He
it.
walks up the stairs without another word.
Mm-hmm.
like put her hand on like the opposite side of Artemis' waist, just to stop her for a quick second. Before she says, "I need to talk to you about something once I'm back up there," and then she'll let go of her.
I do not believe I'm in the right mindset to have any kind of serious conversation, but please tell me tomorrow morning.
Oh no, it's not serious, I promise.
Or any conversation you want me to remember.
Fair enough.
I am very wet. I do not feel good. I don't feel like I'm in a kind mindset for any conversation. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're beginning.
She's gonna
that's good.
lean over and kiss her cheek before walking off.
Just trying to be a little less wet. You're not dripping anymore, which is a godsend, but
it's still uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Duval just watches and looks between the two of you. He's like, "At least they're all right."
I wonder how long until she realizes that that cloak has a hood.
Eventually.
Serenity says nothing. Serenity just keeps drinking her drink.
Aurelia sits down next to her. You alright?
I've been through a lot today. A lot more than I expected.
What was it the clerics used to say? Solution? What was the other two? I can't remember. This is why I wasn't a cleric.
To be fair, neither was I.
Solution, comfort, or distraction. That was it.
She lifts her glass.
Distraction.
Distraction. She'll down it and ask for another.
They give it to you.
You're gonna be drinking for like an hour.
We're not going to get to a full hour just yet.
Oh, goody!
What? It's not bad things all the time, every day. It's a good thing this time. Although it does sound
things all of the time.
Although in this case, it does seem to be a bit more in the vein of struggling for a little bit.
Struggle what?
You hear someone like kind of grunting and struggling from outside, and they hear like someone like thumping at the door.
Come in.
Not your door, the the inn door, and
they need help opening the door.
Yeah,
no, I know.
You say you're speaking a smartass, and you're slightly buzzed at this point. Then you hear another person go, like. They say something, and then you hear another person say something back, and then you hear another person, like, kind of, like, sharply, like, retort, and then be like, something else is said, and then there's a pause. Then you hear a quick, as you see Poppy push open the door with their tail, completely red-faced, with a few of the items that you guys had asked to be moon-touched. With Rivika carrying the bigger items.
Of course, Elizabeth's already upstairs.
Yeah. And from what you can tell, it looked like they were struggling to open the door. And from the look of Poppy's tail being used to open the door, there was a solution. One that Poppy might not have immediately thought of.
Good to see that you're very solution-oriented.
Yeah. We figured it out. No problems there. We brought you your things.
There's fun in that.
We didn't know you were here. Otherwise, we would have possibly...
Yes, but the bartender's also here.
Hi, Duval. Hello, Poppy. Are you being... in a mood again? No? Didn't think so. Poppy looks to be in a mood.
Oh, what's a mood mean?
Stubborn.
Ah.
They move over and they kind of look between you two. Artemis already has her arm back, so that's not there. She looks to be carrying a longsword, while behind her, Rivika has strapped to her back the weapons of Aurelius and Serenity. She moves over and she offers it to the both of you.
Oh, Big Blue, thank you. She takes her great sword.
Yep.
Aurelius just takes a moment looking at Rivika with the greatsword on her back, and he goes, "It looks good on you." And he takes.
She pauses for a second, and she kind of like kicks the ground idly. It's like, I'm not exactly great with them. I don't have the coordination.
That's fair.
Better with mace.
Ooh, a mace.
Oh yeah, it's quite handy.
I could never get my head around the mace. I don't know. It felt too light in my hand. I can't explain it.
No, I get that. It's like how the sword can be a little bit heavy in my hand. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just nodding for a second, just kind of a moment. They're just like, night's coming up soon. If you guys are curious, when you get a chance to draw the swords under the moonlight, see which of the moons touched it.
Sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that, Dawn? When the what now?
For everyone who is watching, as you can see, my thing now has the 3 moons behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Each moon is governed by a different goddess. And so as a little tongue-in-cheek bit, moon-touched greatswords tend to be touched by one of the 3 goddesses. So when you draw your sword in the moonlight, it will glow, and it will glow one of the 3 colors, white, blue, or red.
Ew.
To show which one of them, when you were getting it absorbing the light of the moon, as it were, which one of them most fondly did so.
Dawn, I swear to God, if it glows blue, I just came up with Big Blue on the fly.
Would the same be for the longsword?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them, including even Artemis's arm.
So there's that added touch for our moon-touched weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aurelius, as Aurelius looks over the sword, is there anything currently visibly different to it? Like, is there any, like, runes inscribed into it or something that might be...
No runes. There's obviously the space to add runes if you wanted to. There's a feeling more than a visible change. You can almost see a bit of a sheen to it that it did not have before.
And because the smith recently sharpened it, its cutting capacity looks... Sorry, this is my brain
Still
thinking
looks
about
very
weapons.
keen. Yes.
Yeah. What is the time?
It's about just before sundown.
Randy looks at Aurelius. Shall we both do it?
I kind of want to see this.
Understandable. So, to fill you in on a bit of lore stuff, so that you're aware of what your characters would have, at the very least, even passing knowledge of. There are 3 moons with 3 goddesses for the 3 moons. The 3rd moon, the red moon, has the goddess with no name.
Hang on. Let me...
Writing it down.
Yep. Oh.
It's less that she doesn't have a name so much as in the Forgotten Age, whatever happened there, apparently her name was misplaced.
Someone put it in the laundromat and it's with their socks, and it's been the second half of the sock took it with it.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat the last bit of lore that you added. I'm so sorry.
The
I want to get
red moon is the moon with no name that was lost in the Forgotten Age. The name was. The moon's still there. I know when you're ready.
All right.
There's the white moon. The goddess of the white moon is Agriata, a very free-spirited deity of change, often described with the transition between light and dark. And then there's Lunatari, deity of the blue moon, a goddess of knowledge, understanding, and the arcane.
Aurelius would know the most about the Lunatari.
Almost certainly.
Probably Cerny would know the most of Agriata.
Also makes sense. Especially considering. So, the sun eventually sets. And as the moons rise, the two of you draw your blades. And ironically enough, you guys were spot on with the color of your blades. Serenity's glows a faint white, and Aurelius's glows a light blue.
Remind me, what does the Lunatari represent?
Knowledge, understanding, and the arcane.
That's right, yeah.
Also, Elizabeth. Poppy does go up to your room after being directed to it and knock on your door to give you your longsword.
Does she tell her about the whole moon thing?
Yes.
Then, once the moons rise, Elizabeth would go out and draw her sword as well.
You draw your blade. It glows with a red hue.
I figured as such.
When he looks over at Elizabeth, sees the color, and just goes, "Expected."
I mean...
You hear Aurelius just kind of stifle a laugh for a second. A few seconds go past, like another stifle. And then after like 3 more seconds, he just can't hold it. He just breaks down.
Elizabeth, with the sword still in hand, just kind of holds her hands out. Like, I mean, obviously.
For the two of you who have religion proficiency, would you like to roll it?
Yeah.
I think Serenity has religion proficiency, right, Paris?
I don't have religion proficiency.
Oh, then you guys were raised in places with religious stuff.
I have religion proficiency.
You have religion proficiency. The person with religion proficiency isn't here.
I have religion proficiency.
Oh, never mind. One of the other people with religion proficiency is here. Paris.
She's gonna find out.
Yeah.
She's not asleep yet.
Fair. Paris. One of the few things known about the nameless goddess is that they are a goddess of indulgences. That's the only thing that comes to mind, because everything else seems to be, again, kind of kept like, she's a goddess of indulgences, and but now let's look at this god. Like it was like a passing over, like we know this bit, and we're not sure what else there is, so we're just gonna move along. Zark, you actually also know this. You both know it. Yeah.
So loud, my ears.
The boop. Sorry.
Yeah.
Serenity looks at Elizabeth, looks at the weapon, and actively snorts before just being quiet.
If I know you're gonna say it sooner or later, Serenity, so before I head inside to take care of something I've been meaning to do for a bit, go ahead and say it.
The nameless goddess is known as the goddess of indulgence.
Yeah, because we all know I'm so indulgent. I buy everything and eat everything.
Love.
Do?
Sarcasm,
dear.
Aurelius.
Oh. Okay.
Love. I'm
Yes?
laughing because it could not be more opposite.
Well, I mean, there's reasons. I don't question these kind of things.
She very lightly, like, taps her forehead. I understand you're snippy, but far be it for me to tell you when to snap. But remember that I'm not nearly as mocking as you or Aurelius.
Sorry? What? What just happened? I was looking at the shiny bit at the tip of my sword.
I love him so much. Oh my god.
Serenity just closed her eyes and just mutters, so innocent.
Elizabeth puts her sword away, back on her hip, looks at Serenity, kind of going, "You really do know how to pick them, don't you?" And head back inside.
We have similar taste, it seems.
She's already into the tavern.
Run!
There's something she needs to do that she's been putting off. But if stuff's going on outside, I won't say what's going on with Elizabeth yet.
Fair. Nothing's...
Aurelius?
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. Aurelius?
Aurelius is going to take a moment. He's gonna, like, walk towards some, like woodland area nearby that's not like he knows no one's there.
Yeah.
Just looking around, and he's just gonna swing the greatsword to see if he feels like Spider-Man. No, just to see how it feels, and like it's sort of a subconscious thing for him to like. He's distrusting of the gods, so it's a question of does he feel like there's actually a presence there?
Make a charisma check.
My spine.
Just straight
Serenity's going
Straight
after Elizabeth, by the
charisma.
way. Oh, who the fuck?
Me the fuck. As you shift and move, you go through normal stances, things you've gone through time and again. And as you do so, it's unfamiliar, but comforting. The sort of feeling you can only feel outside of danger. It's a sense of peace. Like a brush of reassurance. that someone is watching.
Aurelius returns the sword to his side, and he well, I say to his side. He puts it on his back and all that, and he takes a moment to just kind of savor that feeling, because he has not felt that feeling in a long time.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. And he takes off his helmet and he looks up at the moons. And he grabs his dagger and he ties up, like, he holds his hair up and he cuts it.
Got it.
For the first time in
a while.
3 years.
Yeah. Understood.
And then he goes back inside and does, like Aurelius shenanigans.jpg. I don't know.
Don't go out the window again.
But there's another pretty bird.
No!
Clank.
Stay away from the bird!
Well,
look, I'll only go out the window again if you're coming with me.
Hey, back the fuck up. I ain't going through there. Just because I can fly does not mean I want to.
Through the window.
When Elizabeth got back to her room after seeing the color her sword glowed, she's going to quickly take the sending stone out of her side bag. Yeah, she has a different sending stone, Artemis. And run her hand over the symbol, knowing it's late but hoping Nezanor still gets the message. And just very quickly say, when Midnight visited you, he was sloppy about things on purpose. There's something going on. Be careful and be warned.
Okay. You don't get a response, but you do get a... No, you do get a response, but it's one word. Understood.
She will put the sending stone back in her bag and go to sleep because she's still exhausted from the Feywild.
Understandable.
I genuinely thought the one word was just going to be "oh."
No. Meanwhile, with Artemis...
while y'all were outside and all, she went back up to her room and she took off all of her clothes because they are soaked through and started laying them out. And she looks at her arm, just kind of slowly wraps it back around her shoulder. It's a little difficult because she's
one-handed.
So she just kind of lurches it back into place and winces at the feeling because skin's still damp. Her scars are a little sensitive. It feels a little different. Once everything's reconnected, she kind of flexes it and looks at her hand, looks down at the arm, trying to gauge what's different.
At a visible glance, not much. There's a bit of almost a lightness to it, but that's the only thing that immediately catches your attention.
She'd be able to gauge that because it was in the moonlight, something might happen if she put it under moonlight, right?
You're smart enough in the arcane, I'd say that would make sense for you.
Yeah, she's going to go over to the window, open it, and just kind of put her arm out, flex her fingers.
You do so, and it does not light up the entirety of the arm, but there are sections of it, pieces of it, that do glow. A very luminous blue.
And do I remember who the
Roll a religion check.
Okay. 13.
That was what you needed. Lunatari. And that is for the goddess of knowledge, understanding, and the arcane.
She'll nod. Makes sense. And then she'll withdraw her hand and just kind of flex her fingers again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of staring at her hand in her arm. And then she's gonna look down at the clock that she heard the voice come from in the Feywild. And kind of stroke the face of it. Browsing her for a little bit. And then she's gonna tuck it back into the damp clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of. No, she's gonna move them into her bag, away from her damp clothes. Just safely tuck them away. And then fish out some dry ones. Sleeping.
I'll say as you're getting on like a night shirt or something like that, that's when Serenity knocks on your door. Before opening up.
Come in.
Like peeks her head in, trying to keep the door as closed as possible while she slips in, just because she doesn't know if Artemis is fully showing.
Mm.
And she's fully aware that Artemis doesn't usually care.
No, not the naked, the ears.
Oh yeah, she cares about that part.
Yeah.
Completely naked except for her ears. I'm fine with this. Ears showing. Panic.
Reason.
Like she knows she don't care about the booty, but the identifying feature.
The identitatas.
I like the idea that she just puts on headphones.
In a modern campaign, that would be what she would do, yeah.
Like earmuffs or something.
God, those are comfortable. She'll shut the door once she's into the room, and she kind of tilts her head. You know, Dove, if you want, I have a spare shirt you could use.
I'm fine.
She'll move up behind her and just put her chin on her shoulder. The non-fake one.
She'll kind of reach up and pat her head.
How are you feeling?
I don't know. Complicated. How are you feeling?
Complicated. Shall we go to bed and ignore the complications until morning?
Sure. And she'll just climb into bed.
Immediate big spoon.
Yep. Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Very important.
So important that I'm gonna pass out the weird don't session. Oh, excuse me.
As the night wears on, you guys will find a Bean gets the cloak. Bean does the bit of going in circles repeatedly then laying down. And then about 10 minutes later, running in circles, running in smaller circles on the cloak, and then laying down. And then does it once more before finally deciding, yes, this is perfect.
I expect to wake up and he's either on the floor or it's just completely tangled around him.
More that like they're half in it, half out of it, like sprawled on their back.
I would say that like partway through the night, Artemis just kind of scoops him up and pulls him onto the bed.
They just cuddle into you.
Yeah.
New big spoon, little spoon.
The big spoon is spooning the little spoon, who's spooning the littler spoon.
Introducing the 3-spoon combo.
Listen, he's soft and he's small.
He's baby. He's Bean Bean.
That is literally why I named him Bean Bean, to call him BB.
Yeah. Dawn eventually breaks.
Damn, we ain't done nothing to you yet.
What?
Dawn breaks.
Dawn!
Yes, I know, the joke.
Shame! To the shame corner with you!
I like how we're booing for different reasons. Like, me boos because pun.
No, I'm booing because it's a pun about me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not different reasons, it's just I have an added reason.
I like the confusion and then the immediate visceral what?
Morning has come. If you have a point of exhaustion, it is removed.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say you have a point of exhaustion. I'm like, I didn't do shit!
I might give you a
level
point of
2 now.
exhaustion.
You're at level 2
Level
now.
2 exhaustion.
Look, it depends on what you've been doing throughout the night, whether or not you have a point of exhaustion.
You know,
No,
that's not
They
a
didn't
point.
do nothing. They were sleeping.
The only reason she doesn't starfish is because she's too busy clinging to Artemis.
You were saying, Comp?
Breakfast is served, and
Beautiful.
you're able to begin your day rested, refreshed, and fed. And do you guys wish to begin preparing to leave, or are you having anything else you wish to do in the city before you head out?
Aurelius is going to, First of all, he's gonna, like, clean himself up. Like,
I want to find...
Go ahead, Aurelius. We'll get to you first.
okay, yeah.
So you're cleaning yourself up?
He's going to, like, clean himself up in terms of not only, like actually, like, cleaning himself, but he's also, like, he's getting rid of the depression beard. He's
shaving. My goodness.
No!
He's cleaning it up. He's cleaning it up. It's not just
like,
grizzle.
It doesn't look like he's a... How do I best put this?
A 30-year-old man with depression?
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's a... He's like... He has hobo beard.
Yeah.
He looks like he has closer to kind of what I have in real life.
Okay.
Where it's like a maintained like
John Wick.
I was gonna say something kind of like that. His hair has been cut obviously from the previous night. When he comes down, He looks like a completely different person.
Yeah. It's not, in this respect, it would be a rare commodity to have glass. However, in all of your rooms, there is polished steel to use as a mirror. Because dwarves.
Ah!
Big scream.
Big scream.
No, I lagged.
You lagged?
Not lagged, laughed.
I heard the laugh. So yeah, you're able to clean up and have an actual way to, measure it to look respectable.
And even if he didn't, he'd probably try find a lake or some water nearby.
Something to see, yeah. Artemis, what was it that you were doing?
She wanted to go and find the Poppy and
Rivika, yeah.
Rivika.
Okay.
I want to do that too, actually.
We'll get to.
Then you can come with me.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Anything you were wanting to do, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth first.
Well, what's the score for the day? That'll change things.
You feel great again.
Okay.
Bro, I get suspicious so quick.
What are you suspicious of now?
Because I'm in a good mood again. I'm not in pain again.
Yeah, I mean, just like, the last few days have been great, even though the last few days before that absolutely sucked. Feast or famine scares me.
Don't worry about famine. Enjoy the feast.
It's poison!
Well, since you mentioned that there's the polished metal in the room, Elizabeth is going to take a moment to look at herself in the mirror or the metal for the first time in a long time and see that her hair is starting to grow again. It's starting to get into her eyes. She takes her sword like she's about ready to cut it short again, puts it back, and using some of the cloth that she keeps to wrap her arm, she makes a makeshift headband to keep her hair out of her eyes, and heads downstairs to get breakfast.
Hell yeah. In serenity.
When Artemis proceeds to get up, there is very clear, groan of dismay.
Oh, come here.
She tries to hold on to her.
Yeah, she pries her way out and gives her a kiss on the forehead, tells her, I'm going to go talk to people. You go find breakfast. And leaves.
Very quietly, you hear her go, can I come with you?
You can follow. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find me very easily. But you need to eat breakfast first.
If she looks at her, this is she looks lost. I don't mean oh, she doesn't fully know where she is. I mean, she looks like she is emotionally lost.
Artemis is going to kind of kneel down by the bed, but near her face, and kind of stroke her cheek a little. What's wrong?
Something came to me last night, and I don't know how to feel about it.
What was it?
Something that was... They called themselves my guide.
Would I know what that is?
Not off the top of your head.
Okay. She's gonna look puzzled. What did your guide look like?
Don't describe the creature.
It's certainly an image.
That's all I remember out of the whole description was wings. Wings, lots of wings.
Most of the wings were around the head, was one of the interesting bits, with eyes seeming to peek out every now and then between the feathers. Bits of the feathers.
Did they, try to make any kind of deals with you?
She shakes her head. They comforted me.
Did your, taps the side of her head, headmate have any opinions?
Repeat that, Kendall? I'm sorry.
Did your headmate have any opinions?
My headmate left the minute that he sensed that creature coming nearby.
I was busy.
Certainly sounds like a good sign, then.
The greatest way to, in the most backwards fashion, say fuck you to Evictus. Just smile a bit. I think they were malevolent. Just confused.
It's okay to be confused. Confusion always comes before understanding. And if they're your guide, they're bound to come back. Because that's what guides do. As far as I understand. I mean, I don't really know what you've encountered, but if they go by anything with the name, they're probably some kind of teacher.
He nods her head.
But you need to go eat.
So do you, but I'll let you use your curiosity first.
I'll eat later. I'm not particularly hungry this morning.
He nods her head. She'll let Artemis go and get ready and just sit for a bit before she heads down to eat.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she's gonna get another kiss before Artemis leaves.
Fair enough. So, Artemis and Aurelius. You guys go out to find Polly and Revica. Not hard to do. You know where Polly resides, and Revica isn't far from that. And Polly is just kind of doing just some basically sunrise watching, just up early, just watching it. And Revica seems to be a little bit of a later riser in that respect, but is also coming out to watch the sunrise.
Can I have grabbed a couple of 2 cups of coffee on my way out?
Let's say you could do that, yeah.
Alright, she's gonna give them to each of them.
They accept. They gently sip at it. Polly looks like very confused at the taste, like, what the... Revica just takes a sip and then just keeps sip, 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 as she kind of tilts it back a little bit before pausing to swallow. She's like, that's the stuff.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sleep
Since the two of them have seen her face well enough already, she doesn't have the hooded thing pulled up completely.
Right. Sleep
and
well
since
enough?
It's early enough, not a lot of people are out.
Yeah.
She just kind of has it pulled down. It's like around her neck right now.
Gotcha.
I slept well.
Good. Aurelius, are you not wearing your helmet?
At this stage, no.
Okay.
Aurelius is not.
Okay. Revica
And he
looks...
sits down and he says, "The house looks as incandescent as ever."
She does. And they kind of look at you and they kind of seem to like pause and take a moment to just kind of like take you in for a moment. And seem to just kind of smile gently. They don't say anything. They just take another drink. You would also see he. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Basic insight. With a basic insight check, would I be able to understand?
I'd say just with your passive, just kind of, she's not hiding anything from you, but with just like a basic understanding of insight and such, which I believe yours is like a 13? 15. Got it. With a 15, yep, you don't need that high to note this, but with that, you would definitely note that it's an initial look of confusion, surprise, and then this very soft, not pleased, not proud, but approving. Like, they're like, oh, you cleaned yourself up. All right, you look, without saying so, effectively saying, you look good.
Aurelius just smiles a bit and sits with them and looks out to the sun. Are they... hold on. Let me try to rephrase this.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything we can do to help the family? The one who
Revika nods and just kind of sighs. Probably not. But we'll be here to help if they need anything. You did far more for strangers than most would ever do. You asked for literally nothing. You and yours are good people. And this land, this world could use more like you. More like all of you.
There are more.
I know. We need more of you to show up and turn the tide. You know what I mean.
It's one thing to be a good person, it's another thing to be there.
She nods. Polly just kind of takes another sip of the coffee. And again, has that befuddled kind of expression before sighing again. Well, at least this is one less thing for us. Actually, no, that's two less things. You've dealt with Ripe and with some of the war-torn and warriors. So that means we have two less things to worry about, which we looked over their weapons and they likely the ones who harmed the creatures. The ones that you asked about when you first came in, the Flassurius. The Flassurus.
Are they being dealt with?
The ones that were alive and regained consciousness, yes. You all were quite good about that as well. Again, just little things I appreciate about you guys. They will be dealt with, but...
Aurelius kind of winces at his cold action of breaking the guy's ankle.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
Artemis doesn't have a hint of regret on her expression as she stares out at the sun. They weren't ours. Blame for that.
Well, eventually we'll want to try and get them to Dragonsby. It's one of the closer major sort of cities, but we can only really go by no roads, as it were, because Dragonsby won't uphold their end of making the road. And you see Polly just kind of slowly look to Revica with this look of just, really? And Revica, like, holds up her mug and motions towards the sun. It's just like, all they have to do is help to ensure that it won't cut into the Fosurus travel grounds. But no, someone has to be sticking them. But takes a big sip of her drink. Politics.
Always absurd.
They'll figure it out eventually. But in the meantime, we'll handle what we have. And you handle what you have.
I have faith that you'll do well in your endeavors. Whatever they may be.
You note that Revica is again, just has that big smile, kind of trying to hide it with the mug, but is smiling at that. She nods to you. And I have as much faith in you. Enjoy the sunrise. It comes every day, like clockwork.
How does a clock work?
I don't know. The gnomes say that it's that expression, and I was raised by like a town that had like 3 groups of gnomes that would always say that, and all the other kids said they understood, but and she kind of goes into a little ramble about it.
Artemis lights up and starts to go into a ramble of,
Yeah.
and then Artemis just starts devolving into the ramble because she knows how clocks work.
They are fascinated with. Wait, that's how they work?
I feel my brain trying to stop itself.
Aren't you glad Serenity stayed behind now?
Or you know, like the sound that gears make when they start to fucking break. Yeah,
that's how clocks work.
That's the noise that's happening in my brain.
That's how clocks work.
But yes, Artemis just goes into that full conversation of how clocks work. She's absolutely lighting up and excited to talk about them.
I am becoming.
Like she'll probably pull pull a small one out of her pocket and just open it up and just start unscrewing it so they can see all the parts and how it works.
Yeah.
And then put it back together and just make them watch as it starts to turn again.
Again, it's fascinated.
I wish I wish I could recall this information.
I'm gonna forget this in an hour.
I know the basics. Gear goes into place and, like, work. Kinda.
It does the thing. Revica nods, just like, I understand what you mean. It does the thing. And then I don't remember how, but watching that is... You are very good at that.
That's so cool.
It's so
Do it
cool.
Again.
Polly's like, don't stress her. It's still early in the morning, you two. I know you're both excited. Aww.
Yeah, Artemis is wide awake now. She's very excited to explain all of this. It's been a very long time since she's really been able to talk about clocks.
Revica is delighted, and apparently Aurelius is as well, but that should be of no surprise.
Thing that Aurelius doesn't know exists. Aurelius, tell me more about clocks. I feel like Aurelius is like he'd be the RPG character that actually does ask all those stupid questions that have no context in the conversation that just preceded it.
Aurelius is the person who follows the dialogue tree, does not press A to skip through to try and like read through it faster, and is just Oh, and so when, everyone else is like, oh, we didn't understand it, can go, here's why. This is the greatest ever. And then when you try and ask him for more details, like, wait, I need to play that again. I don't remember what exactly they said, but it was really cool. And then they read it again. It's like, it was really cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
After that conversation, Aurelius asked, do you have any... Never mind. I'll just go to the bookstore.
No, ask. It's okay, ask.
I was just wondering if I could find any books on local swordsmanship traditions. I know that each place has different specialties and skill sets in terms of using different weapons.
Not in a village like this. However, Molten Hold might have a few books. Theirs has been influenced over time by their proximity to Danziel. So they actually probably have a very, very different way of swordsmanship.
Okay.
Yeah, the name, she's gonna kind of stiffen a little bit. She's like, oh yeah, we're headed in that direction, so we should be able to find some of those.
Yeah, don't worry too much about it. I've heard that Molten Hold has been... What's the way that I put it, Poppy? I said it a very fun way before. They're actually putting the molten into metal to make it fortified. That doesn't sound as I'm aware that you said it some other way. However, you added several more minutes worth of description. They made a metal wall. Yeah, you're right.
A metal wall?
It's not
Is Artemis
fully.
already aware of the metal wall?
No.
Or is it new?
That's new.
She's gonna look visibly surprised.
Yeah.
A metal wall.
It's a more recent thing that we've heard about, but apparently, according to some of them, one of the people in that area says that they've found a way to harness and harvest enough metal in the area to make it, and apparently they were good on their word. I have no idea how, because it's in a hills area. There's not like a metal vein or mountain. It's just hills. But apparently they had enough metal to just make a wall. Or at least part of a wall. Not done with it yet.
There was a running gag that that we had back when I was still with the Vigilance of the Abyss. It goes something along the lines of, a wizard did it.
Wizard did it? Oh, you guys had that too?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Poppy looks none too pleased. By the way.
Artemis just makes a face and looks over at Poppy sympathetically.
Metal walls are troubling. Especially since Molten Hold isn't exactly known for having a strong presence of the circles to it. If they try and start pushing out more and they destroy more of the land around it to fulfill their needs, a metal wall might actually be a bit problematic.
It would certainly give Danziel some ideas.
Let's not get too much into that thinking yet. That... it might, yes. But we'll hopefully shelve that for another year. Poppy has this look that's basically saying, I'm not going to, but understandable.
Yeah, Artemis looks pensive, very thoughtful, just kind of tapping her fingers a little bit together. She has an idea.
Is Molten Hold on the way to...
Yes, it's on the way to the landfall. It is literally your next stop.
This is Aurelius asking a question, like in person, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
sorry.
forgotten.
It's one of the first major, larger towns before you would be able to go either towards Dragonsby, Wavebreak, or Landfall.
So if we were to need to get supplies, that'd be the place to stop into, if we can get into behind those giant metallic walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a complete wall from what people say. I think people are hyping it up too much, but it's at least a iron wall, or at least, an expanding wall.
It's likely something to keep Denziel out.
Almost certainly.
I passed. It was either by or through Molten Hold. On my way. I passed by it once. I don't remember if I was in the city. That time was a bit of a blur.
Fair. Imagine if it didn't have the wall. It was a while ago. It's been within the last few years.
What's the last few years? How many years is that? Can you give me a number?
They kind of pause and they calculate and they kind of go, oh, right. About 6, almost 7 at this point.
Oh, yes, definitely longer than that. Perhaps 20 years ago? Maybe 10.
That would definitely not have the
20.
wall then, yeah.
Yeah, definitely about 20 years ago.
Or else you probably just hearing that, yeah.
I always forget you're, like, years, like, centuries older than me.
I'm not... Decades, not centuries.
Well, look,
Never ask a woman her age. Yeah, never ask a woman her age. Or a man. Or a tree. They get really uppity about it. Poppy crosses her arms and looks indignant at a nearby tree.
I've also come to realize never ask a tiefling anything.
Oh?
Yeah, I had a friend. He would always answer the question without answering the question.
That is very much in line with tieflings.
I'd be like, how old are you? And he'd be like, I am as old as I have been since I was born.
Oh, he was one of those? Was he with the Order?
Yeah.
You see Revika just like flop backwards with the most exhausted expression. I hate it when they do that.
Mind you, I actually managed to pull that on one of them at some point, but that's another story.
There's a loud laugh from Revika. Before she says
I think we should get ready to be on our way. If you ever need me, or us...
I've met you, and so I can shoot you a message. Or you, or your girlfriend, or your other friend. What is the Elizabeth's relation to all of you all? Because you all are friends. Is Elizabeth your girlfriend, or...
She's also a friend.
Also a friend. I'm just making sure. You all seem very close.
Kinda like stares blankly for a few seconds.
Look, you're all very close. I wasn't sure if like everyone was knit. If you're all just like one big poly group. I've seen it before. Some people say it works. Other people say that it generally has a night where one of them kicks the other out of the bed unintentionally, and the other one then gets thrown out the window. As you do.
Oh no, I've had that experience before, but not with these people. No, he's not. She looks at Aurelius. No offense. No. Not him.
Fair enough.
Aurelius continues to stare blankly.
Processing.
No. Nah.
See? But yes, I've had that experience before. I usually was the one that was kicked out, or the one that watched the other one get kicked out.
If anything, Elizabeth reminds me of the people I used to teach how to use a sword when I was still in the order.
Good memories, I hope.
Mostly.
That's good then. Well, go and get your friends all ready to go. Hawk, Chubb, and Bonkers are all waiting for you.
Thank you for taking care of them.
They were good little beings. Bonkers was especially ready.
Of course he was.
Well,
thank you for having us, and it was nice meeting you two.
It was nice meeting you as well. And thank you. You've done more than any of us should ask for.
I hope we cross paths again someday.
I hope so too.
And Artemis will start walking back to the tavern to pack up her stuff.
Sounds good.
And Aurelius will say the farewell that he's just grown accustomed to in his order.
Mm-hmm.
May your dreams be monumental. And he walks off.
May the light watch over and warm you. And so you all are able to go back, gather anything you need, pack your bags and the like, and prepare yourselves to head out.
Okay.
When they come back,
Mm.
it is to. Serenity is outside with Bonkers.
Bonkers is, you know the cat thing where they are insistent on nuzzling every part of your face?
Yes.
Bonkers is doing that. Every part of your face must be nuzzled.
Elizabeth is like, there's the front wall of the tavern. She's got her back to it, her arms crossed, and her hood up. She's still very out of it from the afternoon before. Just kind of keeping an eye on everything, but keeping a distance.
All right. With you all gathered around and gathered together, is there any last minute thing you want to grab from the city before you head to the big city?
Aurelius is going to return the book.
Okay.
And then return to the cart. And just look over everyone just to get a gauge of how, like, their state of mind and just, like, physical state as well. Just to make sure everyone's okay.
You're gonna have to roll insight for that, my man.
Yep.
You get to roll insight.
Wow. Insight.
Depending on his roll. I might have to roll something. Nope, never mind. Elizabeth is great.
Hey, looks fine.
That's a party.
I just hear you in the distance, which makes it even funnier. It's just like you're leaning away, just like, ah!
That's a party. Hello. Sorry, I was adjusting where I put my microphone.
But But yeah, everybody just looks great, Aurelius.
Finally, a good morning.
Before we leave, may I ask you all a favor?
Depends on the favor.
She kind of looks at Artemis with I should probably tell them, right?
Artemis will nod.
I was visited last night by something. I'm not sure what it was, but if somehow, some way, through some horrible irony of the gods, you see this creature, please don't shoot it or try and strike it.
I won't touch it unless it goes after me.
Describe it for me.
You will describe the creature to Aurelius.
Would I
Roll
have
an vision
enough?
check.
Okay. Region.
Vision.
10.
You're having a great night, aren't you?
It was okay earlier.
The description frustrates you a little bit. Not because you don't know what it is, you just don't know what it is. In the sense that you hear it, the description of it in your mind can almost flip through a book. You know, like the visual where it's like a person's like having a thing where it's like you see pages flip and it shows an image. And you're like, that creature sounds like a celestial I read about. It was
Like on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, tip of your tongue. You know it is a celestial creature based off the description.
Aurelius is just like, that's a come. What's come on, think. Like actively hitting the side of his head.
Stop hitting yourself.
Which also you do note he is not wearing his helmet.
Oh my god, your hat. She with no hesitation, no thought process, reaches up to kind of like run her fingers through it.
It is surprisingly like, considering circumstances, it's surprisingly like silky.
Also, wait, did Evictus just make that noise?
Yes.
She yanks her hand away from him the minute she touches him.
Yeah. Very silky hair, and then you hear that sound like.
She looks at her hand, looks up at Aurelius, and you can just see
Oh no!
Smile.
Oh no!
Curl around her face.
Aurelius looks at her and raises a single eyebrow.
He touches the side of his head again.
Why would you do this to me?
Are you okay?
Oh my god. I bet this is a very bad reaction to you.
So he likes me but doesn't like him.
No, it's more like he's been electrocuted.
Aurelius pulls his sleeve down to see if there's any reaction to the corroded part of his skin.
He'll touch him again to see if something reacts.
Do you move your hand to touch the corroded part?
She'll hold her hand over it and then look at him like, may I?
Aurelius just kind of lightly nods.
She'll touch the corroded area.
There's like a hissing like a deflating balloon. Like that kind of sound. It's interesting, Aurelius, because It's skin, it's flesh, it's been damaged. After, like, if you spend like a little bit holding his arm, like a minute, like the tips of your fingers start feeling a little numb.
Oh. She'll let go of him and then kind of like
Him,
look at her
not
hand.
you. You're not your hand.
Okay.
His hand.
Oh, okay.
You don't feel anything. You just hear the sounds of a Invictus just hating this.
So I don't see anything.
Not at the moment.
I feel
a little bit of numbness around the tips of your fingers.
My fingers are getting tingly.
Well, aren't they cute?
What?
They're absolutely adorable.
Right?
Aurelius looks at the other two. What?
She looks at...
You're so precious.
She looks at Elizabeth and Artemis. I am fucking adorable, thank you.
You ain't my type, but I'll take your word on it.
Oh, you're more than Invictus's type.
Yeah, but...
Oh, I'm sorry, does that hurt? She fucking keeps touching Aurelius!
Since we're being all open and shit, after we're done at Landfall, and I need to make a stop at Wave Break. Something came up yesterday once we came back, and I have a very important meeting I cannot miss.
You alright?
You didn't seem like the business type.
You hear a very quiet smack as Serenity puts her fucking hand to your forehead.
To my forehead?
Yeah, no, I smack you.
Let's just say the past might have caught up with me. And if I don't go to this meeting, it'll be a lot worse than if I do go.
How does the past run?
Aurelius.
He's so fucking dumb, but I like that he's so fucking dumb. Tell him to talk more. Tell him to talk more and touch him less.
Aurelius has this like little evil grin across his face. He's doing this on purpose.
Elizabeth just shakes her head and there's a slight smile on her lips going.
Artemis is gonna look between...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Elizabeth is just kind of, the smile crosses her lips going, this is the second town we've been in where people have been looking for me. And I'm worried that my days will be fewer if I don't go to this meeting. So if we can go to Wave Break, the sooner the better.
We can. It would be on the way after that city anyway. We also need to go by Dragonsby, so we can go through Wave Break after Landfall.
I was told either Wave Break or Dragonsby for this meeting, and I would like to not have to worry about things with Gadai on top of this meeting, so...
Okay.
Is Wave Break the one with good beaches?
It's the one with good beaches. Landfall's the one with the floating
where you want to do the skydiving thing.
Thing.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, Wave Break's the one with good beaches.
Aurelius, I have an idea. And
you
she
have
looks
a lot
at
of
him and Serenity. Yes, I have quite a lot of them. They're mostly good. Aurelius, why don't you touch Serenity?
What?
What is... Elizabeth literally, she looks between all of them and turns her back to the situation.
This is like...
Not like that.
She still keeps her back
already knew what the fuck Artemis meant, so she was just like, alright.
Aurelius,
no, I know.
Processing.
No, I mean, Evictus hates this, and I want to see how much he hates it.
Aurelius very reluctantly takes off his gauntlet with the corroded hand. And, like, he's, like, not even sure where to place his hand.
Serena just leans her whole ass and body against that side of him.
Invictus makes a retching sound. Very disliking.
Aurelius, I'm gonna ask you for a favor that's very...
At this point, everything that's being asked of me is very strange.
Can I have a hug?
Should I put my gauntlet back on? Or?
I don't care.
If it makes you more comfortable.
She points to Artemis.
He's gonna slip his gauntlet back on and give her a hug.
You embrace. It's a nice little moment. It's a moment of silence. And then you hear Invictus like a feral dog.
She'll pull back after a few seconds. Alright, I got what I wanted. Apparently touching you is very uncomfortable for Invictus.
Aurelius's kind of demeanor completely shifts from like his like golden retriever energy to like a more serious stoic soldier kind of. And he just kind of says, "There's a reason for that."
I have an idea from what you told me. However, considering Invictus told me that my assets were not big enough for him, I feel like this is proper revenge.
How we get going? Elizabeth back still to everybody.
I'm pretty sure the cart's been moving.
No, you haven't got on.
No, we're not on the cart yet.
God damn it! I was hoping we were moving.
Nope. Elizabeth, without it, still back to everybody, just hops into the back of the cart.
Really gets on fucking bonkers. Oh yes, he also said that he wanted you to keep talking. Looking at Aurelius.
Why?
Because he's a smartass.
He said he enjoys you because you're a smartass.
He sure seems to have a lot to say about everyone.
I like having opinions.
About everyone and everything.
Having opinions keeps me alive.
Aurelius points to Artemis. She's the smartass. She has all the ideas.
There's different.
I didn't realize my ideas came out of my ass.
You know.
That's a great place to pull.
Everybody's got talents.
That's a great place to pull them.
Do you want
me to?
Serenity's fucking keeping her mouth shut. She's not saying a damn thing.
Smart.
He seems to be a lot more talkative recently than I last recall.
That is... Huh! She gotta, like, tilt her head. Why are you more talkative than before?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worrying about it.
Worry about it later.
I'm worrying about it now, because if I worry about it later, that gives you time to do more weird things.
Hut.
Am I a donkey to you?
No, I'm talking to bonkers. The thing can't hear me. Hut. Tell it to go! Why aren't we moving?
Once in the back of the cart, Elizabeth's hand has gone up under her scarf and she's just holding onto the locket, kind of doing like the stimulation, like anxiety stimulation of just rubbing her hands across the locket underneath her scarf.
Gotcha.
Once Artemis is in the cart, she's gonna pull up the scarf that she was given till it just covers up her mouth and her ears.
Aurelius is gonna get into the cart and he's gonna place his helmet like next to him.
You have a co-driver in your helmet.
Yes, his name is Ronald.
I'd expect nothing less from you, being a smartass and all.
Why not just put Bean in there?
Bean Bean?
Put Bean Bean in the helmet.
Yes.
Can Bean Bean fight?
No.
No.
Then why give him a helmet at all?
Because it
In
would be
your-
freaking adorable.
Your helmet. It's like putting little hats on pets.
Are we moving yet?
No,
Yeah.
Aurelius has not started the cart.
Bro, I'm on bonkers. I'm already like 20 feet in front of the group.
Go.
As Bonkers begins moving to lead the way, the other two kind of seem to catch the drift and start pulling. Unless you tell them to stop, they will begin moving. And with you guys once more beginning your intrepid trek, making your way across the wide expanse. And looking to make your way forward. When next we meet up, I'm trying to... God... Ugh. All these bikini bottom...
I'm sorry.
You were
like,
excitable, I
select all of
understand.
them.
No, I wasn't trying to do that. Oh, wait, I put it back. I put that on the map layer. Oh, I'm so fucking smart.
It's fun watching it just move around.
Oh, I'm just hearing I'm so fucking smart. He sounded so busted.
You will have traveled 8 days. And you will be arriving next session in Molten Hold. And on that note, that is where we will end the session.
Artemis's anxiety just skyrocketing when they enter the city.
Fucking clock in my living room is pinging, but it's so fucking dead that it sounds like a dying goose. Or Serenity's just tired. She literally met the "Be Not Afraid" angel.
You were being afraid, so you had to be told not to be afraid.
When that shit lands out of fucking nowhere, and the thing that literally gives me my rage just basically goes, "Aye, peace." Yeah, I'm gonna fucking freak out a little bit.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fades away. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Goes
The
over
devil
there.
has left the building, and for some reason that makes me feel like I am more in danger.
Amazing how that works, isn't it?
And now they're getting in within spitting distance of Danziel.
You are literally within spitting distance of Denziel. Isn't that fun?
Hang on, let me spit.
It's like
Mm.
everybody's starting to have anxiety attacks because of what's going on.
Except for
Fine, I don't know what
Aurelius.
you're talking about.
Yeah, Aurelius and Serenity are like, wow, Denziel, that's a place.
It's when we go deeper into Cormundum that she's gonna start hyperventilating on bonkers.
Yeah, he's going to go deeper into Cormundum and be like, oh god, oh no, oh no.
Elizabeth thought being this far away from Corvin, she was fine. No,
Ah, bitch, you thought.
We're over here. We'll be fine. Black Rose. Fuck.
Yeah, for Elizabeth, she thinks that's a death sentence. So
Big fast chuckle nut.
Hey, wash your dishes.
Oh, you guys had fun with the accent? Good.
I think everyone had fun with the accent. It was quite enjoyable.
There's
I'm
reasons.
Like, what?
There's reasons.
Of
You're a
course.
mafia boss child.
It's because
Not too far off, actually.
You're an adventurer, like, child. Adventurer, air quote, but...
Elizabeth's running from the mob.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this session.
Oh no.
Oh, goody.
Alright.
Oh, I was gonna say that anyways because of what's going on, but yeah.
So, on that note, thank you all so much for enjoying this with us. We try and stream these every week on Mondays around 8:30. We sometimes start a little bit earlier, Eastern Standard Time, of course. Sometimes we start a little bit early when we're having our fun uptime stuff. Today we started just around the time when we actually do that, just because it kind of, your game's overwhelming you with hot dudes and you're getting overwhelmed. Help. Okay, I'll add more hot dudes. Got it. Anyways, so until next time, we are WhatTeamComp. We have been having a blast with this, and I hope you all have as well. And we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.